Hello. In this video, we want to see whether conservation of mechanical energy works as pertains to a ball rolling along a track. The idea is that given the radius of this loop, which is 23 centimeters, and the conservation of mechanical energy, which has both potential and kinetic energies, we should be able to calculate the minimum height from which the ball is released so that it's able to traverse this track without losing contact. And I drew an illustration here, and you can see that the idea is that we release the ball from a certain minimum height from rest, and then it moves along, goes around the loop, and then goes along its merry way. And there's a radius of the loop. And you'll notice that the object I drew isn't a ball, it's actually something else, irregular. So a natural question is, with this conservation of mechanical energy equation, will it work for both objects that slide and objects that roll? So let's just ignore rolling and do the calculation for an object sliding. And again, we want to find that minimum height so that the object just barely makes it around the loop. And the radius, again, is 23 centimeters. All right, I'll remind you of conservation of mechanical energy. If there aren't any forces that diminish the energy in the system, for example, friction, then the initial total energy should be the same as the final total energy. That is, the energy of the object at the top of the loop should be the same as the energy when it's released from rest. And the energy released from rest is all potential energy. We release it from some minimum height with respect to, say, the table, all being in the form of potential energy. And when the object makes it to the top of the loop, it's a distance 2r above the bottom of the track, so it has a potential energy of mg2r, but it also has kinetic energy, 1/2 mv squared. And this speed is the minimum speed so that the object just makes it barely around the top of the track. If you drop it or release the object from a minimum height so that it makes it around the track, the speed must correspond to the minimum speed so that it just barely makes it around the track. So I'll step back here so we can see the full equation. And then if you want to calculate the minimum height, we have to use this equation here. This is the minimum speed for the object to make it around the track, and you get this equation from Newton's second law. Newton's second law. And if we do the calculation, we end up getting the minimum height is 2.5 times the radius of our loop. And the radius of our loop is 23 centimeters. And so the minimum height from which we must release the object is 57.5 centimeters. All right, so we have to release the object from 57.5 centimeters. And I have a meter stick here. And but before we can just go to 57.5, we have to be careful because notice I have a base here. And this base here already measured to be about 5 centimeters. So I'm going to take that answer of 57.5 and add 5 centimeters to it, in which case we get 62.5 centimeters. 62.5. All right, so let's just go ahead and do that. And let me grab the ball here. And so 62.5 is about here. Okay. So I'll release it and let's see what happens. I don't know if you could hear, but I could hear that the ball kept contact with the track, but when the ball was up here, it lost contact. So it jumped. It jumped. So let's do it again, and I'll try to maybe jump back so you can take a look at what's going on. So 62.5. Let's see. All right. So that's 62. That's about 62.5. That's good. Okay. Yeah. So it's not making it around the top of the loop. So we're in trouble. Physics is not working. So I don't know if you saw that, but the ball did not keep contact with the top of the loop here. So why is that? Well, if we look back at our equation here, conservation mechanical energy, it appears to not be giving us the correct minimum height. If we consider the fact that the ball, when it moves down, it's not only translating, but it's also rotating. So that's the mistake we made in our calculation. We only included translational kinetic energy. We didn't include rotational kinetic energy with the ball rolling, which means that in my equation, I need to massage this kinetic energy term. So instead of 1, I'll put a constant here, c, where c is greater than 1. Okay? By putting this constant here, I'm allowing for the kinetic energy to be higher. That is, it includes both rotational and kinetic. But if I make the right side of this equation higher, then the left side has to be higher too, right? So if I increase the right side, that is, c is greater than 1, now my h min is higher. And so instead of 57.5, it actually becomes 62.1, because if you take a general physics course, you learn that this coefficient, you learn what the actual coefficient is. It ends up being 1.4, okay? So anyway, so the actual number should be 62.1, and if I do that, 62.1, and then add the 5 centimeter platform, I get 67.1. So let me do that. So, oops. All right, so 67. Let's see what happens here. I don't know if you could hear it, but the ball never lost contact with the loop. I'll do it one more time. .67. So I'm using the center of mass of the ball for the measurement of 67. Yep. So I'll do it one more time. Let's see. Yeah, I have to move very quickly. Yeah. So you see, it kept contact with the track itself. Very good. So then we can say that conservation of mechanical energy works. Is just we have to remember to include both rotational and translational when doing these calculations, or when a roller coaster engineer would do these calculations. Take care.